Hello everyone and welcome to our Learning Hour webinar. I am Kunalan and I'm excited to be your host for today's session. Today have our expert trainer Miss Adila and she will be sharing very interesting topic about conditional formulas. During the session, you may ask questions in the chat box below and Miss Adila will answer the question at the end of the session. Without waiting any longer, I hand out the floor to Miss Adila. Thank you.
All right, hi everyone. So, Assalamualaikum and good afternoon to everyone who's joining the webinar session. So, as per mentioned by Kunalan earlier, today we'll be covering an interesting topic, which is conditional formulas. All right. So here, let me just share my screen. Okay, we're going to understand first what is conditional formulas, and then we'll go through some of the function that is available inside conditional formulas itself. Okay. So here an Excel workbook, all right? So conditional formulas here, as per the name, as you can see, first you need to have some certain condition, right? So for an example, you want to check how many number of your customers who ordered cookies from you, specific cookies, for an example. So first you need to have certain conditions, and of course formulas are formulas. Okay, so some of the conditional formulas that we'll be covering includes if, right? We will be also covering the plural formula, ifs, okay, count if, and then we have count ifs, we have some if, and then some ifs. Okay, we will also see nested formula whereby we are combining, example here, if we will combine it with the formula and, okay, and then we will also see how we can combine formula if with or. So these are some of the example of conditional formulas that we'll be covering inside today's session, right? Okay. If you look at if, all right, so if is like kalau, right? So if that is the condition. Now, you can see here we have count if and also sum if. So before I go into count if and also sum if, I need you to understand what is the difference between count and also sum, okay? Because I don't want anyone to get confused, okay? I just want to make sure everyone understand the differences between count and also sum. So here, let me give you a simple example, right? So here, let's say I have name, okay? I have Mr. A, Mr. B, Mr. C. Okay, so let's say this is the number of packs, okay, that he booked. Let's say this is a restaurant, okay? So we just want to check for today's booking, right? During lunchtime, for an example, how many people made the booking? And for each people, how many packs they say they want to book it for, okay? So let's say for Mr. A, he booked for 5 packs. For Mr. B, 3 packs. For Mr. C, 10 packs. Now, if I want to count, right? If let's say I want to count here, and then I use the formula count inside the cell here D16, I will start off by putting here equal to count, okay? And then if you can see the formula down here, you can double click on the blue colored formula here that shows count. And then let's just highlight cell D12 to D14. Now, if you put count here, it will show you as 3. Why? Because they will calculate it as 1, 2, 3. So D12 is one cell, D13 is one cell, D14 is one cell. So in conclusion, right, what question does count formula answer? How many booking do we have today? So that answers this question. We have 3 booking, right, from Mr. A, Mr. B, and Mr. C. Now, how about sum? So if I use the formula sum here inside cell D17, right? So if I use here equal to sum, double click on the formula, and I highlight again cell D12 to D14, and I press enter. Here it's showing as 18. So meaning for sum, right, they will add up all of the numbers together. 5 plus 3 plus 10, that makes it up into 18. So a question that would answer your sum answer, right, is how many guests are we expecting today? So they will know, okay, I need to have a table okay, that fits for 5 people, 3 people, 10 people, that shows the count, right? How many tables, how many bookings. But if you use sum, we can see how many total number of guests are we expecting today. So we know we can tell the kitchen, okay, please expect 18 guests. So you know you need to cook 18 dish, okay, in total. So that is the difference between count and sum. Count, they count it 1, 2, 3. Sum, they will sum up the number, okay. So if you can see here, another distinctive feature of count and sum if is for sum, right, you need to have numbers. Only then sum can be used. But count, it doesn't matter if your data is in the form of numbers or your data is in the form of symbol or even text or even names, okay? So let's explore that option next, okay? How can we use count and sum for numbers data and also text data? So I'll show you an example down here. Let's say here, okay, I have name again, A, B, C, and then I have a symbol. Example, if you send out a form to anybody, right? So some people, they may click, right? Some people, they may say no, so they use so they choose the cross symbol and so on. So let's say here, I'm going to insert a symbol. Okay, I'll insert a right here, okay, meaning a tick, and also I'll include a cross here. So let me find a symbol that shows a cross. If we have it here, right, let's say this is the symbol, right? So let's say the question is, will you be joining us for lunch? Okay. So for Mr. A, he say yes, he tick, he would be joining. Mr. B, no. Mr. C, yes. So how do I count how many people say yes, how many people say no? So this is when we're going to use count if. See, because we have a condition, right? We have a condition here, one whether they say yes or one whether they say no. Like right just now, when we use count, we want to simply count how many number of people. We don't have conditions, right? We only have one condition here. But when we come to the second example, now we have two variable, isn't it? One is those who said yes. Second is the one who said no. So here we will be using count if. So those who said yes, okay, let's say if I want to calculate, I can use the count ifs formula. So how do I apply count if? I can start off by typing equal to count if, double click on the formula, and then, okay, here's my magnifier. Okay, it just come up. Okay, so if I zoom in here, right, so after you type equal to count if, we want to calculate how many people said yes, you double click on the formula here in blue. I want you to go to your left side, just an A, you should be seeing a symbol of fx, okay, that is called as insert function. So I want you to click on this fx button. So they will ask you for the range and also criteria. So for the range here, you can highlight everything under status here under column D, right? So I just highlight the whole thing. And as for the criteria, what is your criteria? You want to check who said yes, isn't it? And inside the status column, yes is represented by the symbol tick. So under your criteria, click on the tick. Okay, so you can choose the tick from Mr. A also can, Mr. C also can. The conclusion is you need to click on that particular, immediately they tell me that those who said yes is 2%. So this is correct, which is Mr. A and also Mr. C. So count, you can use it on symbol. But what if I want to use sum if, right? So let's give it a try just to see the differences. So down here, I type sum if, double click on the formula, insert function. Now your sum if, right, they ask for three lines. Just now when you put count if, they only ask for range and criteria. But your sum if, they ask for range, criteria, and also sum range. So under your sum range here, you need to highlight column with numbers. The thing is, right, my data at the moment, I don't have any numbers with me. I just have letters, alphabet, and I also have symbol. So that's why for some, it doesn't apply for symbol or even character or even text or alphabet. Okay, if you want to calculate all that, you must use COUNTIF. Okay, so that is the distinction between count and sum. All right, so I hope that is clear. How can we differentiate between count and also sum? So since all of you have understand the concept behind this, now let's have a look at an example exercise for COUNTIF and also SUMIF. So I have a set of data here. Inside column A, I have order number. Inside column B, I have date. Inside column C, I have driver's name. Who is the driver who make the delivery? Column D is the item. So this refers to household item. If you can see here, we have TV, washing machine, refrigerator, microwave, and so on. Column E is the number of items, how many TV, refrigerator that they have delivered, okay, on a particular day. Column F is the transport. Are they taking truck 1, truck 2, truck 3, or truck 4? And of course, column G, you have the destination with the cities, all right, in the United States. Okay, now let's look at SUMIF first, right? Okay, so SUMIF is here. For an example here, firstly, we want to find out what is the sum of refrigerator items, meaning we want to know for refrigerator how many items of refrigerator has been delivered, okay? Traditionally, before you know the existence of conditional formulas, how do you calculate the refrigerator items, right? So I can think of one way that you may do this. So you would actually filter this to refrigerator, and then you would highlight the number of items. So for example, refrigerator is 105. And what you do is you would actually type in here number 105. Am I correct? Right? So you may do it this way, okay, if you don't use SUMIF. Now, there's nothing wrong with this method that you're doing, okay? It's just that first, it is quite manual, so it may take some time, okay, for you to filter and check and so on. Secondly, right, the risk of doing this is your number, you just type it in. It is not related to any formulas. Therefore, the numbers could be correct, the number could be wrong, okay? If you put the number in, the 105, and then you close your Excel file, right? You leave it there inside your laptop only 1 month after you open it again, right? The likelihood is you may have not remembered how you obtained the number in the first place. If it's straightforward like this, right, you know you need to filter refrigerator, that's fine. But in reality, when we deal with data at our workplace, it tends to be messy, it tends to be complex, right? You need to filter maybe several columns, several rows, only then you get your number of 105. So that's why, if it's possible, please change the habit from, just putting in the number manually. Please use formula instead, okay? Right, so let's use SUMIF together to find out what is the refrigerator items, okay? So here I'll delete this first, and then I'll start with equal to SUMIF. Here, double click on the formula, SUMIF. Once you double click, remember I told you about fx up here, insert function, so please click on insert function. Right. A function argument box come out, and they will ask you for range, criteria, and also sum range. Now, what do you need to put inside each line? It's very simple. For your range, right, remember your criteria is refrigerator. Now, the word refrigerator, where can you find the word? The word is inside column D, isn't it? So, whenever you see the word range, example here, range, sum range, please make sure you highlight the whole column. That is very important, okay? Right, sorry, let me just clear filter here first. Okay, let's redo the SUMIF. So, equal to SUMIF, double click on the formula, insert function. Now, for range, let's highlight the column that contains the word refrigerator. So in this case, it's column D. Therefore, I'll highlight the relevant data, which is cell D1 to D25. Okay, so that's why on the range here, you can see D1, D25. For criteria, you have two options. If you want to type it in, you can. So you can type in refrigerator, or if you don't want to type, okay, you want the shortcut, you can actually click on any cell with the word refrigerator. So example here, you can click on cell D8 or D9 or D11. Any cell in column D as long as it's with the word refrigerator, okay? Number three, now this is very important. Remember I told you earlier for sum, you need to highlight column with numbers, okay? Now look at the data that I have here. Column A, we have data with numbers, but this is order number, right? It does not make any sense if I want to add up all of these numbers together. The second column that has number is column B, which is date. Again, doesn't make any sense for me to sum up the dates together. Number three, right? We have column E, number of items. Now look at the data. Everything is in number form. So this would be a suitable column for me to highlight for sum range, because sum range requires Excel to add up the numbers together. So for sum range, I'll highlight cell E1 to E25. Okay, so range is column D, D1 to D25, because it has the word refrigerator in it. Criteria, first, you can either type the word refrigerator, or you can actually just click on any cell in column D with the word refrigerator. And number three, we have sum range. Sum range would always be your column E, which is column with numbers data. Okay. Now, when you click on OK, let's see what is the answer. Look, it's also 105. So using formulas, it's much more accurate, okay, and nobody would be able to say you, look, this is wrong, okay, because you are using formula. It's the method of you getting the number is not manual, okay, this is automated. So that would minimize the risk of any wrongdoing. Second, let's try and do for washing machine. Okay, so again, equal to SUMIF, double click on the formula, click on fx here, insert function, and let's see what is the range criteria and sum range. So the second one, we want washing machine. The word washing machine is inside column D. So again, inside your range, we will be highlighting column D, cell D1 to D25. As for criteria, we want washing machine. So either you can type in the word washing machine, or here we can just click on any cell inside column D with the word washing machine. Example here, I'm clicking on cell D20. And of course, for sum range, we will need to highlight all of the relevant data in the column with numbers. So the only column yang ada numbers dalam your data is column E. So I'll be highlighting E1 to E25. When you click OK, total washing machine item, we have 164. Okay, right. So those are example of SUMIF. Now let's go to COUNTIF. Right. So here we'll be looking at a plural form for COUNTIFs. We will be using COUNTIFs with S, yeah. Why do we use with S? Kenapa kita guna yang ada S? Because plural. Look at the instruction. Number of microwave orders in Boston. The first criteria is microwave. The second criteria is Boston. They want microwave orders made and sent in Boston. So when you see two or more condition, please use the conditional formulas with S, okay, plural. Right, so let's try and do it together. Let's put your cursor inside F42, okay, and then type in equal to COUNTIFs. Double click on the formula and choose here fx insert function. Now, if you notice, right, inside COUNTIF, we don't have any sum range at all, isn't it? We have the criteria range, we have the criteria, but we do not have option for sum range. That's why sum range line is only required for sum formula or sum if. Okay. Now we want, the first one is microwave, second one is Boston. So criteria range 1, you see the word range here, please expect to highlight the whole column. Okay. The word microwave is located inside column D. So for criteria range 1, I'll highlight cell D1 until D25. Okay, right. Now, second, what is our condition? We want microwave, right? So criteria 1, you can either type the word microwave in here. Okay, if you do not want to type, you can just choose any cell with the word microwave inside column D. So here I'm choosing cell D12. That's all. Okay. Now moving on to the second criteria, which is Boston. So Boston is located inside column G. So for criteria range, remember range, you need to highlight the whole column. Let's highlight cell G1 to G25. Why do we highlight column G? Because the criteria, which is Boston, the word Boston is located inside column G. Okay. And then next for criteria 2, we want Boston. So you can either type or you can just click on any cell with the word Boston inside column G. So when you click OK, you would get number of microwave order in Boston. We have only 2. Okay, so let's try and filter. Okay, to microwave here inside column D. And then let's filter to Boston inside column G. Look here, how many orders do we have? Only 2, isn't it? Dated 5th February and also 8th February. Therefore, our answer is correct. Okay, right. So let's try and do another example of COUNTIF, and then we will move on to the next part, which is if formula. Okay. So here, the second one is we want Peter White and Truckman. So let's start off with equal to, sorry, COUNTIFs. Double click on the formula and click on insert function fx. Criteria, the first criteria is Peter White. So criteria range 1, we need to find out the word Peter White is located under which column. Okay. So Peter White is located under column C. So criteria range 1, please highlight the whole column C from cell C1 to C25. Criteria is Peter White. All right, so let's go back to column C. Click on any cell with the word Peter White. Alternatively, like I mentioned earlier, you can type in the word Peter White. Now, criteria range 2 is truck 1. So truck 1 is located inside column F, right? The word truck 1 is located inside column F. So criteria range 2, again, look at the word here, that's the word range. So whenever you see the word range, please highlight the whole column. Therefore, I'll be highlighting column F, cell F1 until F25. And then, of course, criteria, choose any cell with the word truck 1. So again, here the answer is 2. There are 2 order made by Peter White, whereby he's using truck 1. Okay. Right, so I hope that's clear. So that is the first 2 conditional formula, okay, which are COUNTIF and also SUMIF. And here we look at a mixture of singular and also plural, right? So I hope that's clear. Now let's have a look at the third one, which is if formula. Now look inside column ABC. Okay, we have a criteria here. The criteria is if the students obtain greater than or equal to 80 marks, they are considered pass. Why do I put greater than and also the symbol equal to? This means if a student gets exactly 80 marks, he or she will still considered as pass. Okay, so a single character, just an equal to symbol, also plays an important role inside your formula. If I only put greater than 80, therefore, those who get 81 marks and above would only be considered as pass. Those who get exactly 80 marks is considered as fail. That's why I put greater than and also equal to here. Okay, right? So I have a list of students' name here under column A. I have their score in examination in column B. Now I want to decide whether they pass or fail their examination, okay? So actually the answer is already here inside column C. So first, let me just remove all of the answer first. Okay, let's remove that. Now, let's put our cursor in cell C10, just below the word result. And here, let's start with equal to if. Okay, so we put in equal to if, double click on the formula, and here let's click on fx, insert function. So for if formula, they will ask you for three things: logical test, value if true, value if false. If you are confused as to what do you need to put inside each of these line, okay, let's go through together what do we need to input inside logical test, value if true, value if false. Now, logical test means, right, what do you want to check? What we want to check is either the marks here, is it greater than equal to 80 or not, isn't it? We want to check. That is our logical test. So whatever you're telling me, whatever you have in your head right now, you need to take all of your thoughts there and then put it under the logical test here, right? So how do I put this? Here, I will click on cell B10, okay, the Amanda score of 92, and then I will put the criteria greater than equal to 80. So what this means is, under logical test, we want to check greater than equal to 80 or not. If it's true that it is more than 80 marks, then I want to mark them as pass. Value if false. If it is not true, if let's say the mark is not above 80, meaning it's below 80, then I want to mark them as fail. So that is all that you need to put under logical test, value if true, and also value if false. It is customizable. Okay, there's no one way to do it. Okay, there's a lot of way. It depends on what is the end game. Okay, what is the end result that you want as well. So here, when I click OK, right, and I apply the formula to the rest of the cell, it looks like Amanda and Ben pass, which is correct. All right, their marks are above 80. However, Charles, Daphne, Eileen, Farah, and George, 5 of them, they fail the paper because if you look at their marks, right, all of them achieve below 80 marks. And of course, Hamilton and Idris, they have passed the examination because their mark is definitely above 80. Okay, so that is the formula of if. So I hope that's clear as well. Now, to show you the application of if, right, in real life example, I would like to bring you to the if commission worksheet here. So what I have in front of you here is, inside column A, I have the sales representative, sales staff from a company. Column B is the sales that they managed to bring into the company. And column C, I need us to calculate the commission that you need to pay out to your staff. All right, so this is the condition. If their sales is more than the threshold of 30,000, okay, if it's more than 30K, their sales, their commission, they will receive 20%. Okay, their commission will be 20%. However, if their sale is below the threshold of 30K, okay, 30K and below, then the commission that they receive will only be at 10%. Now, the next question is 20% of what? 10% of what? When you want to calculate the commission, this rate, right, you will take it from your sales portion. So meaning kalau your sales lebih daripada 30K, alright, you will get it at 20%, right? 20% of your sales. That is the commission that will be paid out by the company. Okay, so here we will try and do this together. How do we calculate the commission? So here I'll put my cursor in cell C4. I'll type in equal to if. Double click on the formula, click fx insert function. So again, the same things comes out. Logical test, value if true, value if false. Now, take a pause, okay, take a moment, and try to think about what do you want to check specifically, okay? So based on the brief that I had earlier, okay, I understand that I have to check, okay, whether the sales of all of the stuff, is it more than the threshold of 30K or not, right? Isn't it? So that is what we want to check. So why don't you translate that and put it under your logical test? So here under logical test, I'll click on the sales here for Emily, cell B4, and then I want to check, is it more than the threshold or not? So here I'll put the symbol greater than 30,000. This is the logical test. First, we want to check, is our sale more than the threshold or not? Okay, if it's true, if the sale is greater than the threshold, so if it's true, value if true, we will need to find the commission. So the commission is, we take the sales all over again before, we will times it with 20%, isn't it? Remember the condition, if it's more than 30K, then dapat 20% lah. Kan? If false, kita ambil semula the sales here, we will times it with 10%. Siapa yang dapat kurang daripada 30K, below than the threshold, then the percentage that they will only get for their commission is 10%. So logical test B3 greater than 30K, value if true, B4 times 20%. All right, if it's false, then your sales, you only times it with 10%. When you click OK, right, and we apply the formula to the rest of the cell, by right, we would get a commission of 27,680 is the amount that the company needs to pay their staff, right, for the commission that they deserve based on the sale that they bring in into the company. Now, let's double check. Emily kurang daripada 30,000, therefore kita guna 10%. So betul lah commission 2,500. Sebab 10% of 25K is 2,500. Number 2, for Rob, okay, dia punya pun below threshold only 19K, therefore at 10% sahaja, the commission that he gets is 1,900. Okay, Michael still below, that's why 10%, 2,750. Francine is also the same, it's only 14K, so definitely below 30,000 threshold, that's why the commission that you got is only 1,004. 10% out of 14,000. Now, the next one, Mircea, right? You look at the sale that she brings. It is 33,300, which is definitely more than the threshold. Therefore, since it's more than the threshold, so under the commission here, 33,300 will need to times with 20% because she has already exceeded the threshold. That's why 33,300, when you times it with 20%, you will get 6,660. So quite a lot of commission here, okay? Helena also the same, greater than 30,000. That's why we times it with 20%. And here the commission that Helena received is 8,360. Bridget and Paulo both managed to achieve less than the threshold, okay, less than 30K, which is 17,000 and 23,000 respectively. That's why the commission is at 10%. For Bridget, 1,730 and Paulo, 2,380. Okay, so I hope that's clear. Now, we'll go through another example of if formula. Okay, I'll go through the worksheet if parking. Here, I have a car registration number, car plate number lah. Column B, berapa jam dia dah park, and column C, I need you to find the parking charges. Okay, so let's have a look at the condition here. It's very simple. If a car parks less than or equal to 2 hours, I want you to portray the message no fee. Okay, I want you to show no fee. But if it's more than 2 hours, then they need to pay 2 ringgit per hour. So that is the condition here. Now, if a car parks at exactly 2 hours, still they will get it for free. They will not need to pay for the parking fee because you see the condition less than equal to 2 hours. So kalau tepat-tepat 2 jam pun tak perlu bayar. Okay, so let's apply if formula inside column C. So here inside cell C4, I'll start with equal to if double click on the formula, and then go to fx, insert function. Now, logical test, what do we want to check? We want to check whether the number of hours kan kurang daripada 2 jam ke tidak, betul tak? Sebab kalau kurang daripada 2 jam, kita nak letak message no fee. Dan kalau dia lebih daripada 2 jam, kita nak didarabkan dengan 2 British pound, 2 ringgit lah. So under logical test, I'll take the hours spark here, B4, and then I'll put in the criteria, the condition less than equal to 2. Dekat bawah tadi kita bacakan, if spark less than equal to 2 hours. Therefore, the logical test is first we need to check the number of hours park B4, is it less than equal to 2 or not? If it's true, dia park bawah daripada 2 jam, saya nak Excel letakkan message yang tulis no fee. Tapi kalau tidak, let's say if it's more than 2 ringgit, therefore dia kena bayar parking lah. Jadi B4 saya darabkan dengan 2 ringgit. Okay. So logical test is B4 less than equal to 2. Value if true, no fee. Value if false is B4. Okay, the number of hours darab dengan 2 ringgit lah. So when you click OK, and you apply the formula to the rest of the cell, only 3 cars kena bayar yang row 5, row 5, row 8 dan juga row 9. The rest tak perlu bayar. And if you look at row number 7, right, dia park exactly on the dot 2 jam, still he or she does not need to pay the parking fees or parking charges at all. Okay, sebab based on the condition, kalau tempat-tempat 2 jam, still parking masih free. Okay, right. So that is the other real application for the formula if. Okay, right. So I hope that's clear. Now we'll go through the last final 2 functions inside, the last final 2 formulas inside conditional formulas, which are if combined with and. Okay. Now, when we have combination of formula inside our Microsoft Excel, there is a term, okay, that we use in Excel to describe joint formula. Okay. We called it as nested formula. So this one you can also Google this in. You can look at nested formula. Okay. So the first one here, we want to combine if with and formula. Look at the condition. The condition is, okay, both tests must be more than 50 marks to pass. Meaning test 1, test 1 kena lebih 50 markah, test 2 pun kena lebih 50 markah. Kiranya dua-dua test, the student needs to work hard. Okay. Kalau dia fail either one, they considered as failing the whole semester. So that is the condition. Okay. And kenapa kita guna if dengan and? If sebab kita ada condition, isn't it? And we use and because we want to make sure both tests apply dapat 50 marks. So that's why kita combinekan formula if dan juga formula and. Now, how do we apply if and and together? So I'll remove the answer from column D first. I'll put my cursor in cell D9 and I'll start with equal to if. Okay, equal to if. Double click on the formula, and here please click on fx, insert function. Okay, now what is our logical test? We want to check, is test 1 more than 50 marks and is test 2 more than 50 marks? So earlier I told you we want to combine the formula if dengan and. Jadi dekat mana kita nak letak and tu? Because just now kita letak only if, isn't it? So the word and, you need to put it here at the start of your formula inside logical test. So you type A and D and open bracket. So here first we will check the marks for test 1. So I took here B9. I want to check, is it greater than 50 or not? And then comma, we take C9, okay, markah daripada test 2, kita check adakah dia pun lebih besar daripada 50 marks or not. Right, so that is your logical test. And A and D, open bracket, B9 greater than 50, comma, C9 greater than 50, close bracket. Kenapa kena close? Because tadi dekat depan you dah buka satu bracket. So at the back you also need to close it with one bracket. Bracket it comes in pair. If you open 2 or 3 at the front side, please make sure you also close it with a bracket at the end. If you open 2, close dengan 2 bracket as well. If you open 3, make sure you tutup pun dengan 3 bracket. Baru your formula akan valid. Okay, right. So if both capai more than 50, okay, value if true kita nak label sebagai pass, and value if false kita akan label sebagai fail. So here I click on OK, and then kita apply the formula to the rest of the cell. Okay, now let's have a look line by line. Amanda, test 1 92, test 2 68, dua-dua lebih daripada 50. So betul lah, pass Ben, dua-dua markah tinggi lebih 50, pass. Charles, test 1, dia pass kan? Dia dapat lebih daripada 50, dia dapat 62. Tapi test 2, dia dapat cukup-cukup makan. Tak boleh lah. Dia kena 51 and above baru consider as pass. Therefore, kat sini, that's why dia label sebagai fail. Because one of the tests, he does not achieve the minimum marks of 50. Dia kena 51 and above. Okay. Daphne pass, dua-dua lebih 50. Eileen, same case lah dengan Farah. Test 1 sebab start of the sem kan, semangat tiba-tiba dah test 2 or just a little bit more kan, lagi 3 1 markah je. Sangat sayang kat sini. So that's why they fail. And of course, George, Hamilton and Idris, all of them pass the paper because their test 1 and test 2 both achieve greater than 50 marks. Alright, okay, so that is the nested formula of if we combine it with AND. Now, the final one is if combined with OR, but first let's have a look at the condition. The condition states that if pass either test, you are considered pass. Meaning kalau you dah pass test 1, test 2 you boleh relax. Test 2 fail pun tak apa, tak ada masalah. If you fail test 1, you still have the chance to make it up inside test 2. So that's why we use if combined with or atau kan salah satu saja. So if pass either test, you are considered pass. So to use if and or, cara dia sebenarnya exactly the same as per when you use if dengan and. The only difference is, alright, remember you put in the word and at the front of your logical test. Now you replace the word and with the word or. Okay, so that is the condition. So here I will remove the answer first, okay, and then do it together. So I can show you how to apply the formula if and or together. Right, so here let's put our cursor in cell D7. Start with equal to if, double click on the formula, and then you click on fx, insert function. Now, for your logical test, you want to check test 1 besar daripada 50 ke tidak. Test 2 lebih besar daripada 50 ataupun tidak. But here, since the condition is either one, salah satu saja, therefore at the front side here, I'll put the formula. Or, okay, tadi kita letak and, sekarang kita letak or. Open bracket, ambil markah daripada test 1 dahulu, B7, kita check greater than 50, comma, C7 greater than 50, close bracket, right? So kita nak check, do any of them achieve more than 50 marks? That's why kita put or dekat sini. If either do achieve more than 50, value if true kita letak pass, value if false kita letak fail. So when you click OK, and if I apply the formula to the rest of the cell, semua orang pass except for Farah. Because why? Both test 1 and test 2, dua-dua dia fail. Jadi that's why dia considered fail lah. Kalau dia pass salah satu, mesti dia dah consider pass lah. Right? So that is the example of the formula if dengan or. Okay. So with that, that is conditional formulas. Okay, so what did we cover earlier is, first we learn about the difference between count and also sum. It's very important because I don't want you to use the wrong formula later on, right? And then we explore about COUNTIF, right? SUMIF, remember just now we used the example for the delivery made for household item, and then kita start masuk if. If tadi contoh kita buat adalah untuk student, kan kita nak label the pass ke ataupun fail. And then we look at two different exercise. The first one tadi macam mana you nak calculate commission for sales team. Yang kedua, kita kira berapa parking yang orang kena bayar, isn't it? Okay. And then the final two is, of course, we look at if, okay, combined with and of course, if combined dengan or, okay, it's a nested formula, right? So with that, I hope my explanation is clear, okay, and I hope you would also learn something new, if not something that you can refresh, okay, about conditional formulas. And these are the main items that we've just covered earlier, the 6 items, starting with the difference of count and sum. Okay, count if, sum if, standalone if combined dengan and also if combined dengan or. So with that, I would like to say thank you so much, okay, for joining the session. And now I would like to open the session to any questions from the audience, okay? Thank you, and I'll return back the session to Kunalan. Thank you, everyone.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Adila, for giving a great sharing. All right, feel free to leave a comment if you have any question or doubt, and Ms. Adila will answer the questions. Okay, Ms. Adila, let's take a moment. Okay. Okay, Miss. It seems no more questions. Now let me share about our coming training sessions. Okay. For our coming training session for April, we have Miss Adila's Microsoft Excel Intermediate and Advanced level. Next, we also have 3 of Microsoft Excel trainings, which is Microsoft Excel Basics, Microsoft Excel Power Query, Microsoft Excel Data Analytics and Visualization. Furthermore, we also have CapCut for video marketing, digital marketing masterclass, digital marketing professional. Other than that, we also have social media marketing, AI tools for content creation and marketing, and ChatGPT AI tools mastering. Okay, it seems like if you're interested in enrolling one of these courses, you may contact us. Thank you for you all and have a good day. Please follow and like our social media and get in touch with us. Thank you, Ms. Adila.
All right. Thank you, Kunalan. Thank you, everyone. Have a nice day. Bye-bye.
Bye.